here.
It's gorgeous until now.
Storms battering the West Coast, claiming at least 3 lives and leaving destruction all across California.
I got up and came to look outside, and it's a wasteland up there now.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to West Coast Wrap. I'm Alex Savage. The most intense part of this storm has moved on, but people are still being warned tonight not to let their guard down. In Northern California, 3 people have been killed by falling trees. Along the Central Coast, flash flooding remains a concern in the Santa Barbara area. In Southern California, swiftwater rescues, mudslides, and toppled trees have kept first responders busy throughout the day. And all across California, power outages are a problem still tonight, with more than 100,000 homes and businesses still in the dark. Here's a live look tonight at LAX, where the rain continues to fall. We begin tonight's weather team coverage with Fox 11's Laura Diaz, who spoke with neighbors, keeping a close eye on mudslides in Studio City.
Sounded like a huge explosion.
Sir, how long have you lived in it?
Oh, we've been here probably. The house was originally bought by my wife in the 60s.
Wow. It's a beautiful area up here.
It's gorgeous until now.
Monday afternoon, people who live in Long Ridge Estates in Studio City were digging out from a powerful February storm that sent mud, rocks, and debris flowing right into their homes Sunday night. The relentless rain walloped the upscale neighborhood known for its raw natural beauty. But less than 24 hours later, it was nature's fury on display. Destruction everywhere. Household items were caked in mud on the side of the road in the 11,900 block of West Lockridge Road. The garage door of one home was literally ripped away from the house. Further down the driveway of the same home, a vehicle wedged into the side of the property with bricks attached to the hood of the car of what used to be a brick wall. LA City Fire told Fox 11 Monday they helped 16 residents in 9 homes evacuate the violent storm as mud flowed.
Because there was a rumbling. At first you thought maybe there was going to be an earthquake, and then it was going to be a really big earthquake, but then it just was too much sound to be that. It was all within seconds.
That woman told us she lived in this neighborhood for decades. She felt safe enough to return on Monday. Also in the Studio City neighborhood Monday were Mayor Bass, Chief Crowley, and the councilwoman for the district. They took a tour of the devastation on Lockridge Road. As the rain poured down, an update.
We're talking to the homeowners. This is the homeowner's car right here that you can see has been destroyed, as well as the car of her son. And she's now trying to clear out this driveway so that her neighbors can come.
Nobody was hurt. My understanding, there was 9 homes that were negatively impacted, but no injuries. Everybody has been relocated up to this point. We have our subject matter experts still walking through and assessing the damage. Some of these homes at this point are not safe to go back into.
And that was Fox 11's Laura Diaz reporting for us tonight. It was a similar scene in the Baldwin Hills neighborhood of Los Angeles. Mud slid down a hillside today, crashing right into this home. The homeowner believes this is just the beginning of her problems tied to this slide.
Basically, my bedroom is being flooded because the water is coming through that big mound of mud into the bedroom. The floor is completely saturated, and I just have to get that taken care of.
Cruz did stop by today to inspect the damage here. They yellow tagged the house, meaning it's considered safe enough to live in, at least for now. A little farther north from there, flash flooding is an ongoing concern tonight in Santa Barbara County. Here are images from Montecito showing streets turned into raging rivers during the heavy rains. Officials say anywhere from 6 to 12 inches of rain is expected in mountain areas near Santa Barbara, although tonight all evacuation orders in the county have been lifted. Down trees and power lines, another problem along the Central Coast. This is a tree that blocked one road in Santa Barbara. First responders are warning people to avoid debris in the roadways and to stay away from swollen creeks. In Northern California, falling trees have killed at least 3 people in this storm. KTVU's Jesse Gary continues tonight's weather team coverage in the Santa Cruz Mountains, one spot where this storm turned deadly.
Cleared Dr. Juco Holliday's harrowing brush with death caught on dash cam. The Ben Lomond psychologist had just cleared a tree and was recording a video showing her progress when another large tree came down.
I think it's a time where all of the work on nervous system regulation comes in handy. So I just saw what happened, and in the video you hear me say, wow, that was exciting. So I was relatively calm.
Holliday escaped injury, but a Boulder Creek man wasn't as fortunate. Sunday, 45-year-old Robert Brainard III was killed when gusty winds toppled a large tree onto his property. A car in the driveway was also damaged. The Santa Cruz County Medical Examiner says his death was accidental and that more details will be provided at a later time. Santa Cruz County officials say there are at least 30 road closures and power outages spread across this county of 267,000 residents, all due to falling trees and tree limbs that were blown down and around from winds gusting to 70 miles per hour.
It's pretty much a mess everywhere in the county. These high winds brought down branches and trees. Yeah, pretty much in every neighborhood of Santa Cruz County. We have power outages throughout the mountains still. We have crews out trying to get our road network back in shape as soon as possible.
In addition to secondary roads, major arteries of traffic are also impacted. CHP officials say rain earlier in the day Monday contributed to 3 accidents within a 2-mile stretch of southbound Highway 17. One of the vehicles ended up on its roof. As for Holliday, late Monday she resumed the clearing work on her property and says this scare is the latest in a string of Mother Nature-spawned near-death experiences.
And if I had been 4 feet closer, it would have come through my windshield. Today, I'm immersed in gratitude and humility. I lost my home in the CZU Lightning Complex fire, so it's not my first brush with danger. This is still my home. It's irrational, but I wouldn't live anywhere else.
While many people in Northern California would agree with the doctor, officials say it's still a good idea after a heavy rain to keep your eyes on the trees around your home and your property because the soil is saturated and those trees can still come down. In Santa Cruz, Jesse Gary, KTVU, Fox 2 News.
This storm is also hitting San Diego. These are live EarthCam images showing us wet weather there tonight. The city's mayor has issued an evacuation warning for people living in flood-prone areas, and that includes some neighborhoods that flooded during last month's storms. People in low-lying areas were urged to ride out the storm in another location or a city shelter. Emergency officials are on standby. They have 8 swift water rescue teams deployed across the city of San Diego. Cal Fire crews have also beefed up their personnel, including 2 water rescue teams, one in the north part of the county and one in the south part of the county. The latest forecasts show the city of San Diego could get up to 2.5 inches of rain by tomorrow.
This warning is designed to have residents in these communities make preparations now, should it become necessary in the future. If and when an evacuation order is issued, the San Diego Police Department and other local first responders will go door to door to advise residents and help get them to safety.
The mayor said the governor's office has also provided additional resources stemming from an emergency proclamation that was issued for 8 different counties, including San Diego. All right, we are tracking these storms here. Let's get over to KTVU meteorologist Rosemary Orozco with more on this latest system that caused so many problems across California. Rosemary?
Yes, Alex, definitely one for the books, right? Giving you a look here at San Francisco today, where the intensity level here way down compared to yesterday, but over the weekend picking up 3 to 6 inches of rainfall over parts of the Bay Area, and some of those hills and mountain peaks hit 100 miles per hour, including in the area where we saw Jesse Gary reporting just a moment ago. The afternoon today in San Francisco, mostly cloudy skies and scattered showers that continue this evening. Meanwhile, in Los Angeles, it still continues tonight with multiple advisories in place, and these advisories will carry on until tomorrow. Here's a look at the satellite and radar for you across the entire west. You can see we are covered in green as well as white, meaning the snow is falling over the higher elevations. And here is a look at all those storm reports just over the last 24 hours. If we move in a little bit closer here, the lighter shades of blue indicating flooding and power lines down here reported in the North Bay of San Francisco Bay Area in Napa. That came in late last night. And then as we head over towards the southern half of the state into Southern California, you can see Culver City flooding reported, a foot of water there across all lanes. Beverly Hills reporting multiple lanes along a 405 flooded there. So this continuing tonight into tomorrow for Southern California and all the advisories to go along with it. The shade of periwinkle blue is a flood watch. You can see not only for the state of California, but in the desert Southwest as well. And the shade of white is a winter storm warning for the snow that continues and the travel advisories along with it. One more stop here along the coastline of Santa Barbara County, San Luis Obispo County. A high surf advisory continues there for large breaking waves. Getting into the futurecast, and notice as we get into tomorrow morning, the core of the storm still parked off the Southern California coastline. It's just taking its time to move east, but it finally does by Wednesday. Meanwhile, another weaker storm is pulling into the Pacific Northwest. A little bit of unsettled weather before the west finally dries out in time for the weekend. Could see more rainfall, although nothing like we have seen over the last 48 hours or so. Southern California will be the one spot that continues with the troublesome areas through tomorrow, and then it moves into the desert Southwest. Outside of that, temperatures in the upper 40s for the Pacific Northwest, 50s for the California coast, as well as the Intermountain West, 60s for areas over Arizona. Back to you.
Rosemary, thank you. The Sierra is getting a whole lot of fresh snow with this latest storm. This is a live look tonight at Interstate 80 in Soda Springs near Lake Tahoe. This latest winter storm has brought impressive snowfall totals across the Tahoe resorts, with some of them picking up a couple feet of fresh powder. For more on the current snow conditions up in the Sierra, we checked in with Kevin Cooper, the Director of Communications with Cali Pass Resorts Group.
You're looking anywhere between 36 and 65 inches that fell across the entire west slope and into the basin. That is the game changer for all of the resorts out there. Now, there's a lot of work to do. The mountain operations team saw a lot of snow, short period of time, and multiple different temperatures too, changing those layers. So they got a lot of work to do.
But Coop told us this is all positive news for the Sierra after the area saw a real slow start to the winter ski season. Coming up tonight here on West Coast Wrap, as heavy rains pounded parts of Southern California, some people needed all the help they could get to avoid devastating flooding, how some neighbors with heavy equipment stepped up during this storm. Plus, a new issue with Boeing planes has come to light on the heels of last month's mid-air door panel blowout. How many planes will have to be reworked before going back into service? Also, see how a new attraction in Las Vegas is surprising Super Bowl crowds.
I didn't know it was going to happen, and the size and scale of it was really impressive. I feel like it's typical Las Vegas.
Can I have my sister next?
Are we clear? Body camera video showing police in Aurora, Colorado, forcing a black woman and several of her relatives from a car at gunpoint. One of those girls forced to lay face down on the ground was just 6 years old. Now the city has agreed to pay $1.9 million to settle a lawsuit brought by this family. Their attorney says Aurora police mistakenly believed the car they were riding in was stolen. That stop happened in August of 2020. Body camera footage shows an officer with their gun drawn and the family lying on the ground. Brittany Gilliam was with her daughter, her sister, and 2 nieces for a girls' day out when they were stopped. Video showed the younger girls crying as Gilliam was handcuffed. Gilliam said the girls were traumatized.
It was like a battle mentally for me and those kids every single day, every moment, every second of our life after that incident happened. Just very mental, not just emotional or physical. Mentally, we was destroyed.
That $1.9 million settlement will be divided between Gilliam and the 4 girls who will get their shares when they turn 18. It is the first lawsuit filed under a new Colorado police accountability law. Well, Boeing has found another flaw in its 737 MAX jets. An employee at one of Boeing's suppliers, which makes the plane's fuselages, found that 2 holes may not have been drilled exactly to the company's requirements. Fox 13's AJ Janavel has more tonight on this latest issue for Boeing.
I spoke to an expert today who tells me in manufacturing terms, this issue isn't the biggest concern. Unfortunately for Boeing, they're under a microscope, and the slightest slip up could have lasting effects.
The last thing that Boeing needs is another black headline about the 737 MAX.
Scott Hamilton is an aviation journalist and expert. He tells me the good news for Boeing is this problem with the wrong holes drilled is not a major issue.
Every 737 fuselage has something in excess of 100,000 holes that have to be drilled to put the airplane together. So if you find 2 holes that are misdrilled, fractionally it's almost infinitesimal.
Unfortunately, the people won't see it that way.
Every instance of an anomaly or an incident with Boeing's name on the side of the airplane is going to generate more black headlines for Boeing for an indefinite period of time.
Hamilton tells me that could affect things like stock price and how comfortable people are flying in Boeing planes. We're already seeing CEOs of companies like Emirates and United Airlines voicing their lack of confidence.
Airbus clearly has the advantage now.
Hamilton researched the war between both companies in his book from 2021. He says looking at the state of things now, Boeing has a long way to go to get back to the top.
They have to convince that the FAA, the airlines, the traveling public that their airplanes are safe to fly on again.
I reached out to Boeing today to comment on this issue. They did not respond. Reporting here in Renton, I'm AJ Janovel, Fox 13 News.
Getting back now to our coverage of the latest strong storm crossing California. And here's a look at the way neighbors are helping neighbors try to limit the damage. When water started rising in one Ventura County waterway last night during those heavy rains, neighbors stepped in with heavy equipment and they scooped dirt and debris out of that waterway to keep the water moving. That helped to keep the waterway from overflowing and potentially surrounding some of those nearby neighborhoods. As we mentioned earlier, mudslides a huge problem across Southern California. Fox 11's Christina Gonzalez shows us some of the damage they left behind in the Santa Monica Mountains.
Just trying to drive through Benedict Canyon is a nightmare. Vehicles getting caught in the mud. But it's the debris in Beverly Glen and Beverly Crest that's doing this kind of damage. Residents running out overnight when the sound woke them up.
A very loud noise, a rumbling, and the power went out as well. And so got some clothes on, went outside, and quickly discovered that there was quite a bit of damage.
Just to give you a sense of what's going on here, it's hard to believe, but that is actually somebody's piano that came off of somebody's home. That's how much the mud and the water were pushing things around.
So I got up and came to look outside, and it's a wasteland up there now.
Huge boulders coming down, blocking his vehicles, his front door, while nearby, off Scenario Lane. You were telling me about your house? You got water in it?
Yeah, we have about 10 inches. It's okay, it is what it is.
These images of the road into Franklin Canyon Park come from the Mountains Recreation and Conservation Authority, warning the park is closed until further notice. Gas crews working on making sure their lines are not damaged, especially with more rain expected.
It's a dynamic situation. Like, that could move. The whole hillside is gone.
And that was Fox 11's Christina Gonzalez reporting for us tonight. Some homes in rural parts of LA County experienced major damage from the storm. Cleanup efforts are now underway at this home in Topanga Canyon in the Santa Monica Mountains. Several inches of rain caused a large tree to slide down a hillside, and it crashed right on top of a house. The property owner says he just had the trees inspected.
The tree itself, the forester said the tree looked healthy, but obviously the ground was not able to hold it.
Many roads in this area were closed today because of the large amount of mud and debris on them. And with more rain on the way, neighbors here in this area are bracing for a long week ahead. Coming up tonight here on West Coast Wrap, the countdown to Super Bowl 58 brings a new show to Las Vegas. We'll tell you what's playing for the crowds along the Strip. And it's probably not the driving school you remember, why some instructors want to see teenagers training like race car drivers. welcome ceremony complete with Las Vegas showgirls kicked off a week of Super Bowl events in Las Vegas today. And along the Strip at Mandalay Bay and Caesars Palace, there are clear signs the anticipation is building for the game. That's where media outlets from all around the world have set up shop to cover the events surrounding the Super Bowl and the game itself. The 49ers and the Chiefs already are in Las Vegas tonight. Both teams arrived last night. Here they are getting off their planes. They're both staying in Lake Las Vegas, which is about 25 miles east of the Strip itself. Fox 5's Shauna Kalafi shows us how a new attraction on the Strip will be entertaining the crowds in town for the Super Bowl.
Las Vegas is lighting up, welcoming football fans to the city for Super Bowl 58.
Las Vegas just has an energy to it, an atmosphere. It has the Sphere. It has this great Las Vegas Strip.
On the 50-yard line of the Las Vegas Strip is Caesars Palace. It kicked off Super Bowl week Sunday with a dazzling 65,000 square foot projection on the side of the hotel.
It's going to be a celebration of the joy of football, our football fandom, all 32 teams, and the battle of the two teams to the Super Bowl for that Lombardi trophy.
In this situation, we have to battle the lights of Las Vegas. So in order to do that, we put 40K projectors up on the roof to pull that off.
The 3-minute Super Bowl spectacular show at Caesars Palace will run multiple times a night during Super Bowl week.
I was surprised at first. I didn't know it was going to happen, and the size and scale of it was really impressive. I feel like it's typical Las Vegas. Bigger is better. So why do small when you can go the entire side of Caesars Palace?
I'm a Niners fan, so go Niners. I thought it was really well done. So I saw some of my favorite players. Just how it was projected on such a large scale, that was really cool.
There will also be a full marquee takeover on the Strip every night from 5 to 5:30 to showcase the unique landscape of Las Vegas. And the Sphere has teamed up with the NFL to create its own custom displays, including a clock with a countdown to kickoff, a big welcome to Las Vegas sign for fans visiting for the big game, plus a display showcasing all 57 championship rings as a celebration of Super Bowl history. Shauna Kalafi, Fox 5 News, local Las Vegas.
Teenagers in Arizona are hitting the racetrack to learn defensive driving skills. Former drag racer Doug Herbert started this program called Brakes after losing 2 teenage sons in a car crash back in 2008. The program allows new drivers to practice tactics that are often used in emergency situations, including panic braking, weaving, and recovering from a spin-out. The purpose is to teach teenagers how to avoid an accident.
Your hands and your eyes get you out of trouble. You're talking about keeping our eyes up, looking where we want to go, stay connected to the road, building muscle memory. It's all part of that course.
The Brakes Driving School is based at the Phoenix Raceway. Instructors say that distracted driving is a huge issue, one of the biggest issues that causes crashes involving teenagers and adults as well. A hugely important program for those younger drivers out there. That does it for West Coast Wrap tonight. A reminder, you can stay up to date on all the stories we're covering at westcoastwrap.com, and you can stream our shows on your smart TV by downloading the Fox Local app. Have a great rest of your night. I'll see you back here tomorrow.